We're a bit more traditional country in West.
741-5434.
In an unprecedented move last month, the Texas Supreme Court issued an order allowing an evicted Richardson family to go back home.
In a legal dispute, Habitat Apartments set out Lavetta Hughes, her fiancé, and her 4 children, and everything they owned. Channel 8's Michael Hill reports.
Could I have that medicine?
At 9 o'clock Wednesday morning, April 22nd, Lavetta Hughes' family called the Habitat Apartments in Richardson home. By 10:30, the family with 4 boys was homeless and apparently helpless and hopeless as word came from its attorneys that an appeals court ruled it would not stop the eviction.
They said they gonna work on it. They gonna wait. But I can't do nothing today, right now.
What are you going to do?
No.
With everything it owned out on a curb, Lavetta's family had nowhere to go. 2 shoeless boys sat on the lawn eating Happy Meals. Lavetta rummaged to find important papers. Her neighbors have been helpful, but an order would come now to cut Lavetta off from that.
You are not allowed back on the property in anyone's unit or back on our property. If you do, we will call Richardson Police Department to come and remove you from our property.
I believe we own the street, so we don't need her telling us anything else. Thank you.
What led to all this?
The pleadings indicate that Mrs. Hughes did not pay her rent.
Lavetta denies that, but that's how this legal odyssey began last November, as Lavetta had no attorney. Habitat won in a Justice of the Peace court. Lavetta appealed. The case went to a higher court for a trial where a written answer for Lavetta could not be found. On December 30th last year, Habitat sent this letter to Lavetta letting her know a trial had been set for January 6th. But a day later, on December 31st, Habitat's attorney, without notifying Lavetta, moved for and won a default judgment because Lavetta never responded to the trial court. Did Habitat and its attorney mislead Lavetta? Habitat's attorney had this response.
If it's not a function of matters that are contained in public records, I'm not ethically permitted to discuss matters that are presently pending in litigation.
When Lavetta got attorneys from the Dallas Tenants Association and Legal Services of North Texas to appeal, the courts asked the welfare family on a HUD rent subsidy to post a huge bond to stay the eviction order. Habitat accused Lavetta of underreporting her income, and it cut off her HUD subsidy. Lavetta's attorneys say that's why they could not post the entire bond, and that's why an appeals court allowed Habitat to set Lavetta and family out on the street.
The church will, we'll get you a place to stay for a couple of days, so don't worry about being out in the street.
The church did, as the attorneys appealed to the Texas Supreme Court. Under a court order staying the eviction, Lavetta and Dallas Tenants attorney Robert Doggett went back to Habitat. The managers and its attorney reluctantly gave her a key to go home.
All right. I'm glad that I got the key back so my kids can have a place to stay.
But the issue is far from settled at this point.
Absolutely, far from settled.
The Supreme Court's order no longer stands, but Lavetta's family remains in its apartment for now. The case, though, is far from over as attorneys continue to battle it out in court. Michael Hill, Channel 8 News.
Visitors to Six Flags